Hello everybody, it's Glass Half Dead here, and today with me, in part, I'm going to say 3, it could be 4, could be 5, really knows with my schedule. I am here with Steve, or Zappin2 from the Discord. He was playing Drukhari at the SoCal Open. Do you want to say hey, Steve?
Hey guys, how you doing?
So, today we're going to be talking about Drukhari. We're going to be talking about kind of a general overview. How do people get into Drukhari? What are their different builds? I think Drukhari are one of the weird factions in the sense that you can do a lot with them, but you're also very restricted. So I think that'll be fun to explore. And then of course we'll go over your games, and just really chat some Drukhari, see how you managed to take second in Arena, losing out only to our Lord and Saviour, Michael T. Holy. And we'll also obviously cover day 2, but I forgot where you placed. Do you remember where you
Sounds good.
placed?
Yeah, I placed eighth. I
Not a
lost
bad
to Orcs
showing.
that day.
Not a bad showing. Okay, so having a quick general chat about Drukhari first. Uh, okay, well actually, there's something I'm really bad at doing, which is remembering how to be a good interviewer. Let's start further back. How did you get into Warhammer, and why Kill Team, and why Drukhari?
Well, I got into Warhammer through the fiction, like everybody gets the lore in the books. I could not afford the models with the family and all that, so I spent 15 years reading books, and then all of a sudden I was just like, you know what, it's time. I want to play the game, but it's very intimidating. So I chose not to try and go full force, and then Necromunda came out, and I bought the box set, opened it, looked at it, and said, "Oh my god, I don't know how to do that." So I spent a year learning how to paint, and then learning how to assemble models, and then Kill Team came out, and I was just like, I got a tactical marine set, and I'll just mess with those. So that was my start.
Oh, so you actually started over with Astartes?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yep, I have some green. I painted them originally for the core rule set as salamanders and iron hand, and I called them the Iron Sallies.
Okay, makes sense. Sure, sure. Um,
And when elites dropped, I was like, love it, sweet, reroll.
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, you picked the right faction. Okay. So, what factions have you played out of interest?
When I started to get competitive about it, I built Tyranids, and I don't like to play them when they're not painted, so it takes me a long time to get it done and ready. So I spent time built Tyranids, had a lot of fun with them, did well, and then in my club, my meta, whatever you want to call it, there was 3 of us that were playing Tyranid, and it just always ended up as top 3 was Tyranids. So
Right.
I'm just like, well, tired, just being one of the Tyranid group. So
One
and
of the
everybody else is getting
swarm.
tired of playing Tyranids. So I'll
Mm.
figure something else out. So that's what I did. I started Drukhari as my 40K army, and I started with like Razor Wing jet fighters and some of the bigger stuff and Cabalite troops. And then when the elites dropped, I was like, okay, I'm already painting witches, so let's just go ahead and make that a team.
Okay.
But unfortunately, 40K style and Kill Team has nothing to do with each other basically. So because what's good here is not good there. So everything I had was
Useless. But
yes, basically.
I mean, I think one of the things that I actually quite enjoy is that I know that, okay, obviously, what you use in Kill Team might not be optimal for 40k and vice versa, but knowing that it's like, oh, well, you know what, I'm just going to pick randomly a squad of 10 racks because you might actually take that in Kill Team. That might not be brilliant in 40k, but hey, they're there, they're on the shelf, they're right next to the army if I want to use them, but they are a
Yeah.
good, valid Kill Team as well.
Yeah. In the racks thing, it's the liquefiers that are not considered good
Sure.
in 40K. So
Yeah.
so now
Very.
I have a team with 3 liquefiers, and it's just like, yeah, that's not going to be useful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you ruined the makeup of your 40k squad. for Kill
Yeah.
Team. I found that a lot as well. Um, but yeah, okay. So, w- dare I ask, why have you gone Drukhari? Aesthetics? Theme?
Yeah, I like the aesthetics. I like their lore. I don't really like the idea of chaos, so I didn't want to. I like playing bad guys in video games and RPGs and stuff like that. So I don't want to be a gaming player. So even though I understood that they were good, and Drukhari are, they're not really bad, I guess. But they're
Okay.
still bad guys. So
They're pretty bad. They're pretty
I
bad.
guess, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah. The
mean,
more you
yeah.
get into it, it's just like, yeah, these people are not nice.
It's like, they may as well be chaos. They were so
Mm,
bad, they literally spawned a chaos god.
yeah, and then
Like,
hid from her
yeah,
or him.
arguably worse than chaos. Uh, but okay, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Were there
Yeah.
any other factions that you considered? Because you've done Astartes, you went to Tyranids, and then you jumped ship to Drukhari. Was there anything else?
No, actually, the only other one I considered was the Eldar or Asurani because, yeah, I like the elves
Okay.
and the fantasy lore. I looked at orcs quickly, and just the amount of hobby that you need to have behind your, under your belt to do orcs well for an army is just kind of like, oh, yeah.
No,
I don't even know how to I don't even know how to magnetize things yet. So
you don't
I'll let
magnetize
orcs go
orcs.
for a bit.
You just make more because
Yeah,
you always
and
need
that's the
more.
other thing. I'm like, wow, that's going to be a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could do small still with Drukhari.
Yes, it's like, oh, I've just finished building 90 orc boys. Okay, so that's 100 points. What are you going to do for the rest of your army?
Hmm.
It's like, uh,
More boys. Oh,
yeah, it's like,
great.
okay. Um, okay, so we got to you settling on Drukhari as a competitive kill team. I agree. I
Hmm.
think they're a great kill team. Um, but since let's not even talk about them pre-elites because we're in elites now.
Yeah.
They're an odd army, I would say. In the sense that, well, okay, let's just start with a big question, I suppose. Of course, if you take Drukhari, you can take any, what's the word, sub-faction on the roster, on your 20-man roster. But of course, depending on what you take, you're locking out other sub-factions. They're very restrictive because of the way the models are worded or built.
Yeah.
But you do have the option to soup. You don't have to take a sub-faction. Where do you stand on the idea of taking soup or going mono-faction? Which, just very quickly to explain for anyone that's totally new here, going mono-faction in this sense means that you pick a sub-faction from the Elites book. For example, Prophets of Flesh, a classic, which allows you to do a certain thing if you only take a certain number type of unit. And that means you cannot take other types of units. In this case you can take racks and grotesques, but you cannot take Cabalite warriors and witches. Soup is just, if you threw everything into a pot, it becomes a soup. In this case, you could take Cabalite warriors, witches, and racks. What are your thoughts?
Right. I think soup would have its place, but you lose a lot. You just really do. The benefits to Prophets of Flesh is amazing. And as far as witches go, Cult of the Cursed Blade +1 strength is just too good to pass up. It might work. Because with the Cabalites you would get your blaster and your dark light, your dark lance. So that could be very helpful in certain settings, like open, not arena so much, but definitely in open, you could be shooting across the board and blowing stuff up. But I still think if you're gonna commit to playing the army, you should probably pick an obsession and go for it, because at least then you can lean into that specialty.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying competitive pick a faction.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes it easier on yourself. It's not playing in hard mode, pretty much.
Okay. And well, we'll go to your specific roster in a moment, but of course, with how the Dark Eldar are set up now, there are mercenaries. So the
Yes.
Incubi and the Mandrakes that do not break your sub faction, with a little bit of trickery and roster shenanigans, you can get two sub factions into a list at either 100 or
Mhm.
125. Easier at 100, obviously. Do
Yeah.
you think there's play there? So have
Yeah. My
say Prophets of the Flesh and
yeah.
either Capalites or
My
Witches.
my original roster that I was testing, and I drove up to LA and played a couple of tournaments uh, with Beernid 40K and his group of guys, the Emerald Knights.
Mm.
My original roster was split. I had one because I only had 5 models painted for Prophets of Flesh. I only had 5 racks, and they weren't optimized. They were just 5 guys ready to be a squad. So I added a grotesque. I added some incubi, or just one actually, a Clivex, and then a couple of mandrakes, and that was the team. So it was like 9 guys. Actually, the night themed was the lead as always,
Yeah.
but so those 9 guys fit in with a group of witches that I played as Cult of the Cursed Blade, and the max witches was, I believe, 7 with the same mercenaries, and it worked out. So I mean, I could make a balanced list, but at the time I didn't know which armies to feed each of those sub factions into. So it was I was learning. I didn't know, and when I decided to go to SoCal, I didn't want to take that roster, knowing that it was kind of handicapped either direction. Um, so it's just like, because I didn't have enough witches, I couldn't go for witch spam, and I didn't have enough racks, so I couldn't build it for rack spam. And the roster is very limiting if you try and do either of those things in either direction. So it was quite difficult to balance those 2 into one roster, but it was fun. I mean, if played right, I could see the double roster or the double list in a roster working well. You just have to know exactly who to play what into. Like I was playing Prophets of Flesh into Death Watch, doing well. I played Witches into Beernid's, his Adeptus Astartes Vanguard Vet with Flamers. Just like he had 6 of them, and Witches was probably a bad idea, because
Yeah.
when he finally did get to shoot me, it was just kind of like, okay, that guy's done. That guy's done. Yeah, just pick him up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, yeah. I mean, from what I have seen, I do believe that Prophets of the Flesh is kind of
Yeah.
the standout list among Drukhari. And I think not having them on a roster would be crazy. However,
Yeah.
I do think the dual list, so Prophets of the Flesh as your default, if you will, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe I don't know what Prophets of the Flesh can't handle. Orcs maybe, because they get lots of
Yeah,
attacks at strength 4.
they do have a hard time with orcs, so yeah.
So then tailoring your second list specifically to stop orcs, kind of something like that. Although I don't know
That's true.
what that would
I don't
be.
know what Drukhari has that could do that either. So it'd be Kabalites.
I guess it
They're
would be
very, very
Cabalites.
squishy, and once
Yeah,
the orc gets in, it's done.
yeah, you don't want them to get in, that's for sure.
Oh no, it would just take one, and then your team would be wiped.
But then it's also a bit of a shame if you were to take Cabalites, because of course the reason you take Cabalites is for the Dark Lance, the Blaster. You don't need that against
Yeah.
orcs. So you'd be taking the Splinter Cannon and the Shredder. It's fine, I guess. I mean, whatever.
It would be. Those are good weapons also.
Yeah,
They
they're
put
not
down a
bad.
lot of fire.
Yeah, they're really good.
But you only get 2. I mean, if you could
You
take
do.
3 or 4, I could see them putting a fight up with orcs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think yeah, definitely. I mean, those special weapons are obviously limited for a very specific reason because they're really good,
Yeah,
even at the points
they're
costs.
good.
Yeah. Which is, a fun other way that Kill Team is balanced. It's not just points cost; it's also limit, which is very good. Um, I suppose before we dive into games, let's ask a few general questions. Number one, what are your thoughts on grotesques?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, if you don't leave them in the back to hold an objective, they're actually quite useful.
It's a good
They're
idea.
very intimidating. Yeah, yeah. They're very intimidating to people, and when they don't see that model, and all of a sudden it's there, it's like the Wraith Guard or the Wraith Blade. It's a scary guy, but he's fast, and he's got 6 attacks. So when he gets in, he does usually kill things.
Hmm.
And he's got 4 wounds, so and a plus and a 4-up, invulnerable save. He survives a lot. I've played against them with Adeptus, and I launched, I don't know, endless missiles into this guy from 2 missile launchers and blasted him with. He just walked through it all and came along and shredded my dudes.
He's
It's
a
just like, okay,
T5, is he?
yeah, let me
Yeah,
see.
T5 4-up
Make sure.
save. He's tough as
Mm-hmm.
nails. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, T5.
Okay, so, but in a competitive, because obviously all of the big expensive models are fun, aren't they? Like
Yeah, they're fun.
they're good fun to take. Everyone should play a few games, forcing themselves to take one just to see what it can actually do. Even if you've kind
Yeah,
of math hammered out, nah, this won't work. I should just take, 10 Cavalite Warriors instead.
yeah, it
Take
is
one,
expensive.
see how it is. But would you ever actually take one, for example, at SoCal, not thinking of the future, what people are thinking of doing with the rule sets, but at the current SoCal tournament pack, let's assume that remained, would you ever actually have taken a grotesque?
I did take a grotesque the second day in the open when I was
Oh,
facing Drukhari. You tie my shoes on the disc guard, and he hadn't played against grotesque, and he's just like looking at the model and he's just like, I think it's time for that list. And going in, and he had witches and mercenaries, and so the grotesque going into that was good stuff.
was it?
He,
Oh, okay.
yes, the grotesque by itself got all of the high profile targets.
Oh,
Yes,
well, I
all three.
suppose he does have a high attack count, doesn't he? I was
Yes.
thinking, because obviously you'd probably want to put him into something that's quite well armored, because you have the AP on him, whereas obviously
Yeah.
Witch is 4-up invuln in combat. So I would have
Right.
thought that would actually
It's,
be Witches
it's
would be a
volume of
good counter.
attacks.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is he 6
Yeah.
attacks? God,
6 attacks with combat.
that's good.
Yeah.
I hadn't realised
Yeah.
that.
4 attacks base. Monstrous cleaver gives you 1,
Ah,
and then 1 for combat. So you're rolling
he's
6
good.
dice.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
play. Okay, so did you win that game?
Oh yeah.
Ah, well, there you go. Grotesque is the new meta, I think. Um,
I don't know.
we could dream. We can dream.
Yes, we could dream. In certain matchups, I could see it definitely working. But
Okay.
yeah,
I
maybe into Mechanicus, it would be it'd be a tough thing to deal with him. Priest against him, he would at least sit there for a minute.
Interesting. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
put him into Grey Knights before, and
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
it did, and then he got side bolted, and the hammer guy took him out.
That will happen. But
It,
the
it went quick.
the Cybolt, I mean, obviously he's a multi-wound model. Any multi-wound
Right.
model just nerfs all psychic. Because it's just like,
Right.
didn't matter. It's like, yeah. So he is probably an acceptable pick against either Grey Knights or Thousand Suns, I'd say. Is there? Do you think? Is there any standout units like that everyone should pay attention to from the Drukhari? You know, we don't have to cover the whole roster,
Mandrake.
but just Mandrakes. For
Yes,
what purpose? What role?
-1 to hit all the time. Um, they have a 5-up invulnerable save. Really, that's their only save because they have a 7-up T-shirt. So
Right.
what's that? And mortal wounds from their assault 2 weapon. You know, you roll 6s and you get a mortal. And then their melee weapon is pretty nice also. Yeah.
Yeah. The Glimmer
So
Steel Blade. It's got some AP,
yes, yes.
hasn't it? Yeah. And
Yep.
they're
It's
2 or 3
-1 damage.
attacks. Yeah.
They have 3 attacks, I believe. Let me see. Yes, 3 attacks, and then the Night Fiend, which reminded me of one time, it's 4 attacks.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they're not that expensive. Is it 13 points?
yeah, 13 points for the leader, 12 for
Oh,
the
okay.
regular mandrakes.
Were you taking those in all of your lists?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I always take the Night Fiend as the leader because
Okay.
it's one guy on the roster and he's easy to
Yes.
he's for everybody.
He always
Doesn't
makes
matter.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and he hides very well, and then when he does have to do his thing, he kills things.
Okay.
So
Were you ever using him aggressively? Like an aggressive leader there?
no, I tend to hold him in the back and hold something, and then if people get back there, that's when he comes out to play. So I can't. Yeah, I should have brought him out sooner on the last game, but
Okay. Um, so do you deep strike them?
I've not really played a lot of open with Drukhari.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fairly new Drukhari player. Um, recently, I've had some games where I've gotten to use reserves, and that was nice. Yeah, mandrakes when they drop down are good. At SoCal on the open day, the one time I tried to be crafty and drop 3 mandrakes behind the lines
Mm.
and blow up a leader, it was against orcs, and yeah, it didn't work out.
Ah, that's a shame. I assume it was a grot leader.
It was a knob leader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe he had 3 wounds. I stripped 2 off of him, and then he moved away
Oh, wow.
and sent all of his boys to eliminate them. Like, the assassination didn't work. Oh no, guys, we're gonna die.
Oh, that's really interesting, actually. You see, because in any other situation,
It would
that
have been a
grot would
grot.
have died. Yeah,
Grot would
wow.
have been dead.
Oh, was that against the legendary guy that was handing out these and stuff?
No,
No,
I didn't.
okay.
I played him on the first day. He brought
Oh,
Admac. That was Kyle. Yes.
Kyle, yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he brought Admech, didn't he, day two? Yes, no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, shall we reveal your secrets to coming second, which is really first, because you just
Yeah,
ignore
because it's
Michael T.
Michael T.
Holy.
Holy.
Yeah, just ignore it, you know. Uh,
Using-
so, oh, did you use, before we jump into it, did you use chess clocks in the final game on day one?
No,
Okay,
I'd never even touched one before,
okay,
and when I walked up to the table, I said, "I don't want to."
okay. Those were a day two invention then.
No, they were there. It was there on day one,
Oh, okay. You
and
you both just agreed. Nah, we don't need it.
yeah,
Oh,
we
fair
had.
enough.
It was the end of the day, and there was nothing planned after that, and so
Oh,
we took our time.
yeah. Didn't we finish at like 9 p.m. or something?
Yeah, we started
Yeah.
really late too. So
Yes, we did. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Do you have any thoughts on chess clocks? Good, bad,
uh,
neutral?
I've been practicing with a layer to the game that's interesting. I
Okay.
mean, if you want to put a little more pressure in your life, and some people just don't want added pressure.
Sure.
Just even the free app that you get on the iStore or the iPhone
Yeah,
is
I
it's
got
a
one.
wonderful little chess clock,
Yeah.
and it works great,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun to add that as into a mechanic into your game, but You know, it's just like when time ends, you just go instead of
Yeah, it's like,
hey, stop. Yeah, you get no more turns. He still has time left, and he's gonna go ahead and do what he wants, which
sure.
is kind of a feel bad. So it's a
Yes.
tough one,
Okay.
especially if you're gonna play against new players with a chess clock. It'd be like,
Ooh. It's not a new player thing. No, definitely not.
no,
Definitely
yeah.
not.
Maybe as the kill team matures and the tournament scene matures, you'll see more and more chess clocks. It's because our games are short enough that it makes a lot of sense to have it. But
Sure. Yeah. I think
yeah,
Michael was saying just the other day that I think on day two, two of his games did go to time. Oh, well, no, that's not quite true. One of them finished at turn three, but due to his aura, the other guy just conceded. When time was called, he was like, I can't handle it. And he
right.
conceded. But then one of his games did go to time. So, I mean, that's not really something we want, I argue. I think a game should be, 4 rounds, the full four.
Yeah.
But who knows? Okay, fair enough. So I got the chess clock app. I have yet to play with it because all of my playing at the moment is I've got a tournament tomorrow, and then I've got a tournament December the 14th, and we're not going to use chess clocks, so there's no point trying to use one now. But
No. Is it the second Dark Sphere?
yes, the deck is the second Dark Sphere tomorrow, and then the
Cool.
Bad Moon on December the 14th. So I'm pretty excited for that. Don't know what I'm
Yeah.
taking to the Bad Moon yet. Do know what I'm taking tomorrow. Uh,
True.
which, you know what, this video's there's going to be a whole wrap up already seen by everybody here. They will know more than we do at the time
Oh
of
yes.
recording this. But I took Gellerpox. I assume I
Excellent.
lost. Don't know. We'll find out.
Hey, you might have done good. Just play that
Yeah, maybe.
position.
That's all they
Pushing
can do.
ahead.
Yeah.
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 Really.
Okay. Cool. So that is that. One more thing before we jump into the wrap ups, which is something that's being bandied around about the upcoming rule sets for tournament packets among Kill Team. What are your thoughts on hold one, hold more, kill one, kill more as the new way of playing the primary objectives?
Well, it does raise the number of primary victory points you can get,
Yep.
which is very nice. You go up to 12 at that point.
Yeah.
But if you're getting 12, then you've won the game already. So then that kind of just maxes it out.
Sure.
Um, I've played it a couple times now, using the Slaughter Zone
Oh, okay. Cool.
tournament bracket.
Nice.
So I've played a couple games with it, and I find it very balanced in general.
As your
All the games that,
Drukhari?
yeah, I
Okay.
played it as Drukhari. Was it into a Adeptus? Was it
Admech?
the Imperial Guard?
Oh,
Imperial Guard.
Adeptus
Yeah, I forget.
Militarum. Whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So AM plasma spam list, and that worked out really well. I mean, and we stayed neck and neck.
Okay.
You know, yeah, it was a very close game and a lot of fun. So it was great using the new packet.
Mm.
And I'm interested to see how well everybody does with the kill one, kill more, hold one, hold more.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've played it a bit, but I think my
Mhm.
results were a touch skewed, because I was playing Grey Knights, and when you put
Yeah.
in kill one, kill more, I was against demons and Gene Stealer Colts. I just ran away with the points, like
Yeah.
because I was practically guaranteed multiple kills a turn compared to their none, and then I could always
Right.
hold
I
one.
think
So yeah,
that would be a problem. And like your gaunt spam list will have to naturally go away because you're just giving up too many points.
yeah,
You're going to give them, kill more
yeah,
every turn, and
yeah.
that's rough. I could see, especially for the Tyranid side, I could see a Gene Stealer heavy list coming back.
Ooh, okay.
Make some Space Hulk noise.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, because
I think Ravenous.
they
Ravenous,
have
you
they have a
got
good
3 wounds, 15 points.
12-inch move.
Yeah, I think they'd be really strong. They're already really strong.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think, and they have a little bit more killing power than a Gaunt, obviously. I think Tyranids going to do just fine. Whatever we do
yes,
to the game, Tyranids, Tau, they'll be
the
fine.
bugs, the
They'll
bugs
figure
will
it
be
out.
fine.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think, just kind of off the cuff, obviously this way, it used to be the case that you could score 9 primary points, 9 secondary points. But now, it's 12 primary, 9 secondary. Do you think the devaluing of the secondary is an issue?
I'm not sure because you're not guaranteed to get to 12. It's like
No,
and
of
a lot
course.
of competitive players are very focused on getting their max secondaries.
Yeah.
And you don't win if you don't get all 9. So they're very focused on their 9. But the primary, you're not. There's no guarantee that you're going to get that kill. Even if the math hammer says, "Yeah, I'm going to get that." Yeah, your dice are going to say, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah. It does happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
I don't.
if you play positional secondaries and you take your primaries, you probably have a better chance of maxing all those things if you have a killy team. But even if you don't have a killy team, positional secondaries with hold one, hold more, it could still be your friend. And you just deny as many kills as possible. See if you.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a leading question. I haven't played it enough to really form an opinion. It was just something that obviously the balance has shifted if we're playing that new format, and I have not played enough to really speak on it with any authority yet, so I wouldn't. But these are just kind of thoughts that come up when you kind of look at the way of playing initially.
Yeah.
But just for the record, which I'm sure I've probably stated, because this isn't going to come out for like a month, so I'm sure I've said this multiple times already. I much prefer the idea of hold one, hold more, kill one, kill more, than just hold one, get one, hold two, get two, hold three, get more. Oh yeah.
Right. Works well.
Yeah, yeah. My few games. I mean, I won them, so of course I like the packet. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
A little
SoCal
biased,
itself.
but
Exactly, completely unbiased. SoCal itself. There were 2 days, as we know. Day 1 was arena. Day 2 was open. You came second. Day 1. Tell us how. Guide us through the Drukhari maze to coming second.
When I picked the Drukhari to play, and at SoCal, I know I spoke to you on your Discord a couple times, and I wanted to be a hipster and take witches, but I couldn't get them painted.
Okay.
They have to look a certain way for me, and I just couldn't get them done. So I put all my time into prep because I only had 5 racks to begin with. So I put all my time into prepping 10 more and the 3 liquefiers and brought them completed. So yeah, I just leaned heavy into that profit flush mechanic.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Doesn't always pay, but a lot of times you deny that kill and people are just staring.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you remember who your first opponent was? At least the faction, I mean.
I don't remember the first opponent. No.
Second opponent. Do you remember any opponents? Which factions did you go against?
I do remember I played Azarani, and
Was that Michael?
No.
Oh, okay.
I played Azarani twice apparently.
Oh.
I played Will from the Knights Cast
Yep.
podcast. I played him, and then I played Tao, and then I played Michael. So I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I think Tower
I don't remember
actually.
game one. How's that?
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's talk Tau and Drukhari, specifically Tau and Prophets of Flesh. I think Tau have a great answer to Prophets of Flesh in drone spam, but maybe that changes in arena because, of course, they're not really getting many shots off on you. I suppose, are they?
Yeah, you hide them a lot, and that game, it helped that it was a domination one, where the centers,
Yeah.
The two doors. It was arena day, so the two doors on both sides, and unfortunately, I looked at his roster and I saw he had the crisis suit, but I didn't think he would take it because that's like I'm like I don't know.
Yeah.
So I picked domination, and then took the crisis. So at that point, it was just kind of like, okay, just let that thing have the middle.
Right.
For as long as he wants to hold that, I'm gonna just keep a guy on this side of the door, and let's see if he wants to open the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much, that's all I want to do is keep that thing from flying around and destroying me.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So he took his big, 45-point model and just kept it in the middle of the board the whole time, not doing anything effectively.
Yeah.
Scoring him multiple
it
points.
scored him a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I was busy because that was the mission with I forget the bespoke mission for the mission pack, one where you got you score the two corner objectives. So that I also took that secondary, and
okay.
that was what I was working towards.
Right.
And then recon. So I was trying to sneak guys into his deployment zone and keep them there. So
interesting, taking both domination and the score. Right. You were obviously thinking, I'm getting everything.
Yes, I wanted everything, but I was willing to take half of what I could get.
And it worked, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. How was the Tau list in that? Obviously, taking a crisis suit, bit odd. But what was the rest of the list?
He had
roughly
a few drones, and then the Pathfinders with rail rifles.
Oh, okay.
So I believe I'm not a Tau guy, so
no, indeed. Yeah. I hear scary things about Tau in arena, just because all of their drones have fly, obviously, but you still need a few Pathfinders to open doors and such. But I don't think I've seen anyone actually take them, like a proper drone spam in arena list. That is, and he didn't against you either, it seems.
Right.
Okay, interesting. Who else did you face?
Will with his Azarani.
Yes. How was that? I mean, Azarani have proven themselves pretty formidable with their high speed, but then I guess you have high speed as well in arena.
Right.
And then, how did it go?
I believe he took a star cannon.
In arena against Prophets of Flesh.
Yeah.
So also win to you. Good stuff. Move on. All right.
Yeah.
No. Keep going.
No, he. It's like it's getting fuzzy. I was really busy. I was setting up between the rounds too. It started to take a toll.
No, I can imagine. I'm amazed you made it to the top tables. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it was. I can't speak to the game. I don't remember it very well.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
It was a fun game. It was actually probably my most relaxing and fun game of the day. Thanks, Will.
Awesome. I'm sure Will says thank you as well. Maybe. No, that's great. That's great. Eldar on Eldar, and obviously the ones that are essentially drugged up Eldar win. It makes sense. It makes sense. There's logic. Okay, so let's talk about your final against Michael, which hopefully you do remember a smidge of. Because even though it was on stream, I don't remember it at all. So,
Yeah,
uh, how
you were
how
you
did it go?
were busy. It
Yeah.
started well. Um, we picked. We didn't pick. Apparently, Sheldon decided to ask everybody what their least favorite arena map was,
Okay.
and everybody picked that. I forget what it's called. It's the one where you tag the objective, and then you don't have to stand there. So
Oh
you can
yes,
tag
yes.
it, and then you move out.
Which
Well,
is
that
such
was
a
really
shame
easy
because I love that
easy to forget.
mechanic. I love that
It's a good
mechanic,
mechanic,
but
but it's a tough game, and it's just like,
yes.
oh, everybody hates it. And so basically, that's what it was. He's like, "Oh, I found out what everybody hates,
Yeah.
and it's this one. So you two guys get to play it." I'm just like,
The
oh,
the
hate that mission.
the game's coming back to me. Yeah, I'm remembering it now. You got some good liquefier kills, I remember. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I moved him out. Michael actually lost track of one of the liquefiers as I was placing it, and
Yeah.
we were placing them one at a time so that we could see it. And he thought I'd split them and I'd put them both on one side and then move them out, and
Right.
was going for his point. And because there's only four, so I was headed towards the one out. Yeah, and he had a big group of guys headed towards mine on the other side.
That is normally how the game goes. Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got to play
it's a
defense and offense at the same time. Yeah.
that one's a very binary game. You got to do it.
Yeah.
No trickery.
I seem to recall, if I'm remembering correctly, he left like a single guardian back on his point and just had the door closed the whole time.
Yeah,
And you never attempted to open it, did you? You were happy to leave him
no.
there. Yeah. So you were hoping,
I didn't have the people to make that play.
right?
But by the time I got to that door, I think I had two guys standing there. He had done a pretty good job of eliminating my guys, and I'd done a pretty good job of failing all my save rolls. So
Yeah. Well,
that
everyone's
happened.
a
Using
50-50.
those fancy casino dice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody loves those.
Everybody was a big fan. I remember that. That was definitely yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what was kind of the turning point in the game. Why didn't it go your
uh,
way?
the turning point was so my offensive side petered out, and he brought a striking scorpion in the striking scorpion Exarch into combat with the guys that were holding the front post or the front point. And when he flipped that point, that was it. That
Right.
was, I believe it was round 3. And I'm just like, well, that's the game,
Right.
because there's just nothing I'm going to be able to do. And like you pointed out at one point while we were playing, was, are you intending, you left that model behind. I forgot that it was tag the stupid thing and then move your. I
Right.
hadn't played that mission enough because I hated it. So if I'd played it more, I might have done something similar to Michael. Tag that point, walk through, close the door behind me, and stand in front of the door. That would have been a much better strategic play than I had two guys back there holding the point. I was just like, okay, yeah, I got to hold this. No, I could have just gone outside the room and held the front one with more bodies. So I think that was lack of experience with that mission because I disliked it.
Oh, fair. What about I think we can all agree that kind of secondaries make and break a mission, especially in this one where it's very, I mean, effectively the whole mission for both of you is fight for the primary
Right.
to see if you can get the other
Yeah.
players, because then you basically
Right.
snowball into a win. So
Yeah.
assuming that
Once
you
you
have a decent defense, you need the secondaries. I can't remember what kind of secondaries are on there. I know bounty hunters is one of them.
Yeah, I think we both took bounty hunters.
Yeah.
I believe I took cut apart and never got. My guys killed nothing in melee.
Oh wow. I get
Yeah,
your liquefiers doing all the work.
they did,
Right.
but I'd only brought 2. instead of 3 because I wanted to max out the number of bodies I could take.
Makes sense.
So, and in that mission, I intentionally took 1 less specialist because I assumed he was going to take high-profile targets because that was one of the choices.
Right.
And he did, so he could only get to 2. And my thinking on that was if I was able to get the primary flip, which is, that's 50-50. Whoever gets the primary flip goes ahead on points quickly. I wanted to make sure he didn't have a path back with killing all the specialists and getting that 3-point difference back. So I should have just taken none. I could have taken none.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
But,
fair enough.
No, it was good.
Fair enough.
It was a fun game.
Do you feel with that map in particular? I mean, did you play it correctly in your mind? Like
No,
you did? Okay.
I didn't
Dare I
play it
ask?
correctly. Yeah,
What would you have done differently, looking back?
I would have moved out of that room
Okay.
and brought all my firepower, which not really firepower, but brought everybody out and made it more of a game at the front point of the 2. Yeah. So
Okay. I mean, in my head, I seem to recall you had a really strong killy first turn. I mean, you might have only killed like 2 models, but it was a strong first turn.
It was a key model. I took out his Howling Banshee Exarch
Yes.
in the first
Yes. No, you're right.
and it was that one kind of put him back on his heels.
Yeah.
But it was just round 1. Yeah.
No, indeed.
You
But I mean, it meant that the whole of your guys on there were now safe from charging.
Especially the liquefiers.
Yeah.
Because that's who he was going to put her into.
Obviously.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was both me and Alex thought, oh, that's huge. Like
it was huge.
Like
yeah.
But then
I was like, I might have a chance.
yeah. I mean, it was a great first kill. But now that you mention it, I do remember. Obviously, he got his Howling Banshee in. No, not the Howling Banshee. The Striking Scorpion in. Was he taking the 2 damage weapon?
Side, yeah. He took the Biting Blade.
Oh, I can't remember what that one is. But yeah, so he got that guy and just got
I think it's 2 damage.
Okay. I seem to recall he just killed 1 or 2 guys a turn from that point on with that 1 model or something like that. I mean, it was pretty brutal.
That model came in when it made its charge. It came in and he used his Manda Blaster and got. So that's a mortal wound on a 6-up.
Yeah.
And when he got that 6, he just looked at me and he's like, "Wow, I don't ever get that." I'm like, "Yeah, great."
It's like, thanks for letting me know.
Let me get a 6 with my feel no pain. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think we all have those kinds of games. Certainly, I had one in the last tournament I went to where I thought I was doing okay throughout the day. I won 2, I lost 1, and then the final game, I just messed the entire. Nothing went right, but not just from dice rolls, but just me. What was I doing? I don't know.
Right.
And I think that does come down to knowing the mission.
Knowing the mission helps.
Yes, and so an unusual punishment from Sheldon there to make you play the one that nobody likes. I don't know what.
I thought it was great. I was just like, really? That's how you picked which mission we were going to play? He's just like, yeah.
I was like, yeah, why not? Okay. Well, okay, fair enough. And that ended up with you coming in second, which, let's be honest, pretty damn good showing.
Right. Yeah. No, it was exciting. It was a little stressful.
Yes. Yeah. Well, more stressful with chess clocks, it turns out.
Yes,
as everybody is saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, day 2, do you remember which factions you played against?
I played against Kyle, round 1.
Admech, nice.
Admech, yeah. And he was not happy to see me because our last game was game of the first day.
Oh,
he was just like, you ass.
Oh, dear. Poor Kyle. We can't upset Kyle.
Yeah.
He's a treasure.
It was a good game. Yeah. It was fun.
Okay.
and then he handed out shots.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I've got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Um,
some good stuff.
yes, it was. Yeah, yeah. That wasn't the cheap stuff either. Good job, Carl.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, okay, so AdMech are such an interesting team. I don't know if
Right.
you know much about AdMech. Do you
I've,
know
I've,
what he took?
I don't remember exactly what he took. No. Um,
Were there priests?
I know he had his. Yeah, I know he had his plasma and he had his art calibers.
Yep.
So he maxed those out, and he pretty much and that was open. And he pretty much set him up so that he had the backfield and he had a fire base, and he whittled me away. But I played the mission and captured the points, and you know kept my guys alive to hold the board edges and did what I had to do to get the points.
Okay.
But yeah, he was slaughtering my guys, and that was
Was
just
it,
how it went.
was it a win to you?
Yes, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Because of course, as a witch army, I'm sorry,
No, that was it was still Prophet's Flesh.
Prophet of Flesh. So yeah, as a rack army, that's the word, racks.
Yeah,
You can't do a huge amount long range on open.
they don't do a huge amount any which way. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just kind of it's kind of boring army, but
Yeah, a little bit.
it's if the other team can't deal with it, then it's just you're gonna take a glacier style victory,
Yeah, sure.
slow and crushing.
Yeah. Yes, yes, a little bit depressing. Yeah, if you're good at rolling fours, racks are an amazing team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I'm not so good at it.
It's difficult sometimes. I'm
Yeah,
aware. Yeah.
that
Uh,
50% average is
yeah.
it's like, oh no.
But yeah, I guess Admech, if he had a list set up for long range,
Yeah,
you almost can't do anything. You're just hoping he doesn't kill you until the time runs out, basically.
right. I was just hiding
Oh,
my guys as much as possible, and yeah,
okay,
keeping.
interesting.
I tried to get board control and move forward, and keep him from coming out and play.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, well, interesting. Okay. Uh, Game two.
Um, game two, I think I ended up playing orcs, and that was the game I lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I played that was the boss knob that was
Right.
the leader.
Where
Yeah.
he tricked you by not taking a grot leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And I had never faced orcs outside of Kyle's orcs in day one. I've
oh,
never played orcs against orcs, so that was my first two experiences.
okay.
Um, yeah, and
Ha-
Kyle didn't get a fair shake because I used the door mechanics against him.
doors.
Yes,
Yeah, I hate
his,
them.
his team probably would have eliminated, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was those damn doors. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, every model being cheaper than your models and having 3 attacks with no AP strength 4, they've got the
right.
numbers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
appropriately costed numbers. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, okay, so as you don't know orcs, I guess they're kind of hard to speak to, really.
really.
But do you have any? So did he just have the one knob in the back as the leader, or was he mainly knobs, mainly
Um,
boys?
he played many knobs and a few boys,
Oh,
and he had like a grot or two, and ammo runt. I remember that,
yes.
and he just did really good at killing my objective holders that were hiding in the back.
Right.
He dropped a couple in
Yep.
the reserve, and then took those guys out quick, and just kind of like he took board control, and my hope was taking his leader out in the beginning, which
Mm.
I ended up taking his leader out, and I still scored 3 points, but
Oh, okay.
that was in the second round because
Sure.
that's when you there wasn't I didn't have enough board control or presence at that point.
Yeah.
After the second round, I was pretty much just rolling dice to play the game with him
Right.
because it was
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So, was he? Do you know what sub faction he was?
I want to say Death Skulls.
Death Skulls allow you, I believe, to re-roll one dice per phase, much like Salamanders, and
Yes,
gives you a
that's exactly what he was
6-up invuln.
Yes, that's what he was doing. He was
Oh,
re-rolling his dice.
interesting.
So anytime he had it was pretty shooty, I want to say.
Yeah,
Um,
if he managed to get to you to like take off some guys turn one, he must have had shooting. Yeah, what
yeah,
do you know what kind of shots?
I know he had a burner,
Okay,
and
yeah.
and then he had commandos because those were the ones that dropped in.
Yep.
And yeah, just with their sluggers, they took out my leader round one
Oof,
or
that's
round
rough.
two, I believe. Yep.
Oh, I guess they don't care about your -1 to hit, do they? They're hitting on sixes
No,
anyway, so yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And he was getting his sixes, and he was just looking at me. He's like, "I'm rolling really good,"
yeah.
like this.
It's like, yeah, I can see. Thanks. Yeah,
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 doing great, man.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not rolling well.
No. Okay, interesting. Interesting. That's I wouldn't have really thought that a shooty list would do brilliantly against. Well, no, I suppose they do
Yeah,
okay, and clearly they did. Clearly they did.
it
Fair
did.
enough.
It was a good game.
Okay, awesome. Do you remember game three?
Mm, I believe I played a Gene Stealer cult list.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't
Not
Byronids.
Birinid. Okay.
I believe it was the other player. And yeah, I was able to stop all that those shenanigans.
Okay. Was he a more standard list than Birinid? Was he kind of, 4 rock cutters, rock saws, a couple neophytes in
Yeah,
the
I believe. I
back?
believe. Yeah, he had more neophytes. Yeah, and some rock saws. I,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't have the greatest memory for all those games.
No, well, yeah, especially if you're not like au fait with the faction. They all look the same. I'm going to be
Right.
honest. They're really similar models. I was like, oh, was it an acolyte fighter or was it a metamorph? It's like, they're identical
Yeah.
models. I don't know. Even I don't
Yeah.
know. Unless the opponent says this is an acolyte. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
And
fair
so
enough.
and then my final game of that day
Oh, but to clarify, you
got
won that one.
was yeah, I won that
Okay,
one. And then
cool.
so I ended up that day with 3-1. And then the final game was against the Drukhari player. You tie my shoes, and we
Oh,
just
again?
scored. No, that was the only game I had.
Oh, okay.
It
Fair
was it
enough.
was game four of day two.
Yeah, sorry, you mentioned him before, but it was obviously in relation to this one.
Right.
Was he the one that was running witches?
Yes, he was running witches with mercenaries.
Right.
So
How was that?
I wanted to take that list, but I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have him. I didn't have him ready.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I want to go hipster and bring witches because they just, hey man, they can do their thing. And
Yeah.
it's just
I
they
imagine
have
they're
hard counter.
actually pretty strong against racks. Because obviously
Uh,
witches are weak outside of combat, but you don't have shooting, so they
right,
don't care. And then when they're in, okay, so your racks are obviously more survivable because you got the T4, but
right.
the witches are going to have more.
They also have
Uh,
strength 4 usually because you play in this cult of the cursed blade,
yes,
and you get your subfaction is
that's
plus
true.
1 strength.
That's true.
So,
Yeah,
and then if you remember to roll your combat drugs, you have the potential to. Yeah,
strength
all of those are
5.
useful. All of the yeah,
Oh, they're all
you could
good.
be strength
Yeah.
5, which is not very useful,
No.
unless you're going up against somebody that has toughness 5. So, but the one that I just if you roll a 4, then you get toughness 4. You get plus 1
Yes,
toughness.
that's true. Indeed.
And then you have a Space Marine with a 4-up invulnerable save in combat and 3 attacks.
That is pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are there close combat weapons poison? They're not, are they?
They're not poison.
No. Yeah, so they
So
actually
it's
care about
based
their
on
strength. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So who won that game?
Yeah. I won. That was the one I took the grotesque into.
Right, yes.
The only game at SoCal I did play with the grotesque, and yes, he did work.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, you said. Do you remember what secondaries were taken in that one by any chance? Like, was it a super tactical game, or did you just said me
No,
grotesque, me smash?
I took all the killy ones that were on just because I wanted to have fun. I was just like, you know what, it's the last game. It's not going to make a difference. Let me play everything killy. And so I took the high profile targets and cut apart. And I forget but I didn't take any positional secondaries.
Okay.
And I think
so you
I
had
got close
fun.
to maxing all three. Oh yeah, I had fun.
And won. It's not how we do this, but okay.
No,
I mean,
no, not usually.
No, yeah. Okay, well that's pretty awesome then. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect it to go that way, but yeah, that went.
Right. Did they manage to take the grotesque down in the end?
No.
Okay.
He was still rampaging around the center of the.
Awesome. That's what you want when you take the 45-point model. You want him to do that, yeah. Instead of one plasma shot, just killing himself. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a giant point sink.
Yeah. Were there any factions that you really didn't want to face?
I don't think I had played enough with my team to really make that choice. I didn't know.
Okay.
Like, I'm guessing Orcs is probably bad for my guys.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
So, but other than that, no, I haven't played the faction enough. Like when I started SoCal, I think I had maybe 4 games with Drukhari.
Okay.
Maybe 8 because I went to 2 tournaments, 3, 7, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was okay. Knowing the game prior, too tough. I'm not a Drukhari expert by any shape or means. I did pay attention to your Drukhari channel a lot.
Okay, good. I hope you got the pronunciation down.
Yeah. I read a lot of what Eduardo was posting about his Drukhari list.
Yes. Yeah. I faced Ed in the last Bad Moon tournament. He definitely knows what he's talking about. Good player. So yeah. I assume I'll be playing him again, or at least seeing him again at Bad Moon next time.
For sure. Yeah.
I hope so at least. Okay.
Maybe he'll bring witches into your Gellerpox. That could be bad.
I don't know what I don't know. You know, every time I think about my Gellerpox, I'm just like, everything's good against me. I don't know why I'm doing this. How did Gellerpox Chris win with them? I'm really confused.
Because Gellerpox Chris can.
Yeah.
But no, he did excellent with them. So there's possibility there. It's spicy.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, but he, Birinid dropped out of day 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Gellerpox Chris jumped in and won the 2 games he played, 18.
Yeah.
So
he had some fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he bring Gellerpox to that? Or did he just have his...
Oh, no, that was his Gellerpox, yeah. He brought the Gellerpox specifically because he thought he might... He was playing in the Age of Sigmar tournament, so if he did poorly in day 1, he was going to drop out and play Kill Team the whole day. But I think he was in with the chance day 2, so he played Age of Sigmar, but must have done poorly in the first game. So then he was like, okay, well, there's no point playing. So he filled in for Birinid. And I'm like, I haven't played a single match with Gellerpox. So
that means you're going to do well.
I'm hoping for some strong beginner's luck. Yeah. That's definitely what I need, I think.
Well, you have your primary, strategies already in place, your overalls, and then you're just going to lean into the new team's mechanics. You're going to make it happen, man.
Let's hope so. Yeah, and then I will retire them, never play them again, get 1 win, call it a day.
There you go.
That's the way to do it.
Yep. Look at that. That's the winning army, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, can I touch them? No. They're in the case. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that way, for the next tournament, everyone's going to be like, oh, I've got to have an answer for Gelapox. That means I can't have an answer for some other faction that nobody plays. That's the one I'm going to take next time, not Gelapox. So,
Yeah.
okay, awesome.
Very cool.
So, was there anything else that you kind of had thoughts on regarding SoCal or Drukhari or the future of tournaments in general?
Our game on Friday
Yeah, okay.
was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to play a lot of Necron,
Yes.
and I pulled out that's that same list, the one with the grotesque.
Yeah.
That's the one that I practiced for, so I had no other clue on how to play really my Drukhari with the rack spam because I hadn't played it. So, and that I didn't want to put that in the Necron. Feel bad. So
No. I mean, obviously,
that was a fun game.
Obviously, I won that game, but
great.
not.
We were playing on the top table.
I was, yeah. It wasn't runaway. It wasn't a runaway win. Like, it was a decisive win. But if you had just had that grotesque going into my Lich Guard instead of another, it would be a completely different game. And I don't know how I'd have handled it, really. I'd have had to hope to dice you and get the grotesque kill. That would have been it.
And hope I get sixes.
Yes. Lots of...
Oof. Yeah. Roll your sixes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's nothing more fun than playing Necrons and your opponent rolling a 6 for the injury roll, honestly, because there's that look of excitement that they rolled a 6 on the injury roll and they killed you, and they're like, it's a 6, take it off. And they're like, actually?
Right.
And they're like, oh, shit. It's like, yes. Yeah, I kind of love it.
Awesome.
I kind of love it.
It is entertaining, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Please, press the reset button.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you have any other... You're sticking with Drukhari? Or are other factions interesting you?
I picked up Biernid's Azerani team.
Okay.
And I'm currently building an Azerani team.
Right.
So, yep, all of that goodness. Howling Banshees, Scorpions,
Yep.
Storm Guardians.
And is that
Guardians.
For theme? Or you actually think that's what you want to take to the next tournament because you think that's what's going to dominate your opponents, kind of? Or a mixture?
I don't know about dominate, but it would be enjoyable. I think I got to play against 2 teams of it during SoCal, and I had never played it before. So, I enjoyed that, and I could see that they have a lot of tricks, and I like that. I think it'd be enjoyable. Do I think I could do well with them? Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. I mean, before the first tournament, before kind of Michael showed that this is how you should play as a Yanni, I had and still have, obviously, an Asayani team that I only played like 4 games with ever, and I just did not get them because I was playing them as something trying to kill things, right? So no Guardian Defenders, all Dire Avengers, because Dire Avengers have a longer range gun, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I were to play them now, I'd play them completely differently. But when I played them then, they're not an obvious, this is how you win kill team army.
Right. I think there are more experienced kill team players.
Sure. Yeah. I'd agree.
And if you don't like the Eldar aesthetics, then you're probably not going to want to play them. And
no.
The models themselves are, they're a little pricey and sometimes hard to find.
And old.
Yeah.
Fine cast. A lot of fine cast in that army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved painting the racks. They were plastic. But yeah, the Azerani and their, the Storm Guardian resin into a guard plastic. It just means when I drop it, it's going to break.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, they're gonna pop apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So
Yeah. So,
can I plug Slaughterfest?
yes, please do. I was going to say, is there anything you want to plug?
Let's talk about Slaughterfest.
Tell me all about it.
August 1st and 2nd of 2020. Uh,
Awesome.
Kill Team Stream. We're going to be setting it up. It's going to be at Pachanga and Temecula. It's going to be excellent.
Wait, was that a place you just said?
Yes, Pachanga.
It
Pachanga
sounded like
Casino
you were casting a
in
spell.
Temecula.
Where it's going to be?
No,
Sorry.
no, it's an Indian casino in Temecula. It's a casino hotel. It's a beautiful venue.
For someone that doesn't know America, what state am I in?
Mhm. California.
California. There you go. Okay. It's in
Yes.
California.
North,
Cool.
north, north, and east of where you were at Del Mar.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So nearer Los Angeles then.
Yes, it's kind of like an in-between point, but
Oh,
on out east versus the coast.
sure. Okay. Dare I ask, why is it in an Indian casino?
They have a beautiful events. I don't know what you call it, arena or
Whole thing. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
the convention center style stuff. So, and it's brand new. They built it in the last 2 years.
Oh, nice.
And it's just amazing. And they have a lot of space. And the Slaughterfest itself is a 40K Warhammer tournament. Um, and yeah, they put on a really good show last year. And I went down there and introduced myself and said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in a kill team event for your next?" And they said, "Yeah, let's talk about that." So
Okay.
we're
Awesome.
gonna move forward with that, and yeah, we should be a great. Sheldon puts on a great show.
He
You should
does.
come and you gotta
Yes.
come see just the boards that everybody got to play on is
Yeah.
just awesome.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
guess we didn't really mention it because it's almost
Oh
why
yeah.
would we mention it? It was so good, but all of the boards were stunning.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, the
yeah,
terrain was amazing. He did
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
great job. Kill
yeah.
Team Stream puts on a good show.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, and we're gonna try and make Slaughterfest a. We want it to be a 30+ player tournament, and that would put it into the ITC major status.
Sorry,
And so the point
40 plus. You said.
40 plus
Okay.
is an ITC major.
Yeah.
And when you when you go up to different levels, from RTT to GT to major, your point scores increase. So as more people start to chase the points and try and compete with Michael T. Holy to get
Yeah.
first number one RTC or ITC player,
Yeah.
majors will have a very big impact on your total scoring, because if you can win at a major, you end up with just a bucket load of points.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's what we're going to endeavor to do is advertise it and get it out and make it a major.
Okay.
And the GT part of it's going to be on Sheldon's wonderful painted terrain, and then there's going to be a second day. Second day will be finals. So basically, be 4 games for the GT, and the top 8 players are going to go into a second day, and they're going to play, I believe, 2 games, and finals will be the third game, top 2. So it's
Okay.
going to be like
So there's a
an
top
8
eight
round,
cut,
yes, a top 8 cut,
and
and then
then
yeah,
a top
the
two
Swiss
cut
thing happens.
after 2 games.
Yes.
So it's almost. Is it so? They're carrying over. Or no, sorry, they're not carrying over their scores from day one. They effectively
No. Yeah.
start again. But
Yes.
okay.
It'll effectively be, like for ITC scoring, it'll be a GT or a major, and so then the top player will get, the number 1 player from day 1 will get that score. And
Right.
then I believe the second day, I don't know how Sheldon's going to do it otherwise, but I believe the second day would be a RTT score for the top 8. And so
Okay.
then there'll be points awarded additionally. So they'll get to play in 2 tournaments basically and get
Yes.
the points scoring for those 2 tournaments.
Oh,
And
okay.
then for everybody else that wants to participate, there will be a kill team, no, a commander's arena game
Right.
for an RTT the next day in day 2.
So that will also be a full tournament.
Right, and it'll be
Okay.
a full tournament outside of the top 8 players will be playing their
Yep.
tournament, and then the kill team arena, the Commanders arena game will be playing, and that's quite interesting because I've not played Commanders. I got the box and got to dust it off just to see what it's about.
Mm.
Have you played any Commanders?
I have, yeah. I've been over to Kiev, and they're all about the Commanders over there. I've played a bit of that. Played a little bit over in England. Only a few games as well. Yeah, Commanders is a huge shift to the game. Like completely changes what's good, because also you're playing at 200 points. So it's honestly a different game. Like, I'm super comfortable saying what's good and what's not good at 100 and 125 points, both on the models, the war gear, the sub-factions. I'm happy to make bold claims that I can't substantiate in any way. But at 200 points Commanders, I mean, I could give some ideas, some rough guides, but nah, I don't really know it well enough,
I think it'll be actually more of an entertaining tournament,
yes,
than our standard, just the regular 125 point armies. So because it'd be something new, something different that people haven't really got a chance to play a lot of.
Definitely, yeah.
Stateside, because outside of Kiev, it's just not a thing.
I know.
People just don't play it. I've never even played a game of it, so it's just like, I have one buddy that uses the Commander's box as his dice box.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
The books are useless to me, but this box is awesome.
But this box. Good job, Games Workshop.
Good job.
Yeah, $50 dice box from Games Workshop. Yeah.
Right.
That's about what they charge. Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, it depends which faction you're playing at that point, but there are so many things to consider.
Right.
But it's, yeah.
So everybody save the date, August 1st and 2nd of 2020.
Do you want to say a little bit, because I hinted at it earlier, do you want to say a little bit as to the changes that are going to come in that Slaughterfest pack? Obviously, it's early days. Things might change.
They're still in flux. Since I printed this one, he's already changed some of the secondaries based on feedback that he got, because he did change a lot. There's some environmental effects on some of these missions that he's still not sure of. So this one's in flux. Take a look at the packet. You can find it on teamstream.com, the events packets. And I think the kill one, kill more, hold more. Yeah, it's gonna be big. That's part of this. It's a new direction that I believe a lot of the TOs are going to be going to. We're looking forward to that for LVO maybe.
Yes.
So,
yeah. It'll definitely. When is LVO? January?
I believe it's the end of January.
Yeah, so that's going to be the first big one that does it, if Alex decides to do it. And I'm definitely interested to take a look at what those results come out as, because it should be completely different. As I was saying to Michael T. Holy, yes, you do have to say his whole name every time, just the other day, it seems that in one fell swoop, not only do you nerf hordes, which is something people have wanted to do for a while, you also possibly make Custodes a legitimate faction.
Yes, they could definitely be a problem.
You basically can't kill them, and they should be killing you.
Yeah.
And they can definitely hold one. So
they can hold one every turn, that's for sure.
They can hold one. They can kill more.
Back there and shoot at you across the board with a 24-inch freaking spear.
Yeah, 2 damage. Like,
Yes.
custodies will be winning games. Like,
Yeah, their
I'd
three
say
models
almost
will
definitely.
definitely win games.
Yeah. So that'll be really interesting. That's for sure. But
Yeah,
whether or
I
not
don't
anyone will take
know
them, who knows?
very many teams that could put up with that or deal with custodies.
They're really tough to deal with. Yeah.
But if you did put a horde into, you'd already given up kill more. So
Yep.
if you did say you put gaunt spam into it, you could definitely keep them from doing anything. You just give them one little guy to munch on every single round. And
You could, but they'd still be, as you say, you're giving up the kill more for
right,
that.
but
So that's
definitely
2
have
points to them. I guess it comes down to secondaries. Yeah.
At that point it would, and then especially in Slaughter Zone now, he's got a random secondary
Yes.
mechanic, which will be for the whole round. You know, roll a d12, and then there's six secondaries to pick.
Now, is that per table? Every table's rolling their own?
No,
Or is it?
it's I believe it's per round. He said.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
So he, as the TO, will roll and say, "Okay, guys, we're using pod 6 or whatever," and then everyone picks from those 5, 6 secondary objectives.
6, yeah.
And all of the secondary, not all of them, but there are revamped secondaries, aren't there? So
yes, there's
new
definitely
ones, taking out old ones.
He's got one in there, hammering.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the fight phase, score 1 victory point if you made, and he changed it to 2 or more injury rolls for enemy models.
As opposed to, it was 3 originally, right?
Right, it was 3 originally, but we gave him some feedback that 3 is really hard to do, man.
Yeah.
3 rounds in a row, I don't think you're gonna really get that a lot. So he did move that to 2. There's a new one called Mind Game, and at the morale phase, you score 1 victory point if opponent is forced to take a break test. Score 3 victory points if you successfully break. With the right team, you could potentially do that. Say you did play your custodians. Yeah, say you did play custodians, and you were destroying your opponent. I could see that you could break them.
Yeah. There are also obviously a lot of sub-factions or rules, I'm mainly thinking Dark Eldar there, that have abilities of some sort that lower the enemy's leadership. Yeah.
So, leadership shenanigans could be a thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you have another new secondary for us? They're kind of fun to hear.
Oh yes. Yeah, oh yes. Survivor. How about pick a model from your kill team before the battle begins. Reveal this secondary to your opponent at the beginning of the battle, and reveal which unit you have. If at the end of the battle that unit is wholly outside of deployments and still on the battle, 3 victory points. So it's an end game objective scoring.
Cool.
3 victory points if it has 0 flesh wounds, 2 victory points if it has 1, and 1 if it has 2 or more flesh wounds.
Oh, okay.
Obviously you get none if he dies. And
I know what custodians are going to take.
Yeah. The shield and the sword.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So obviously Sheldon has asked for feedback in the Glass Half Dead Discord rules channel for his secondaries, and I know a lot of people gave feedback. One of the things it might seem odd that it's my Discord and I don't respond to people in the rules channel much, but
I don't blame you.
Well, no, hold on. Let me explain why first, because you're thinking of a different reason. It's because to change the secondaries is a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
And I feel it's almost irresponsible to come in and just read it once and say, "No, I don't like it," or "I don't like that one." It's like, well, you have to playtest it. Like, obviously, Sheldon thought of them and thought, okay, I'll put that in. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Sheldon's infallible in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he makes mistakes. No. But to just instantly discount one or instantly say, I like this one, and don't forget, everyone has their personal bias. I like to look at things from the perspective of the extremes. So Grey Knights versus Horde Tyranids, and that again skews the way I view things. I will obviously be. I'm viewing, as I've said already, the change to primaries as an amazing change for Grey
Oh
Knights.
yeah, it's going to be big. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna change the meta.
100%. And I think it's probably a good thing, but
Yeah,
we
it'll be
will see.
different.
We will
Yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah. Change is good, regardless of how most all of us regard it.
Well, yes. And of course, if you want to donate any change to me, you can. No, I'm not. I'm not actually going to plug my Patreon.
Oh, come on.
No. That's not. It's not for me.
I would like to plug a charity that I heard about, and I'm trying to
Yes.
get that. I'm trying to get so it's Table Wars charities, and I'm talking to the guys at Slaughterfest to see if they'll actually have a raffle there to support this charity. It's a autism advocacy charity, and what autism advocacy is you have these meetings with school boards here in the United States where you have to have a discussion with a panel of people that determines what your child who has special need, what services they receive. They have one idea, and your child needs something else. And they tend to bully you into accepting what they want. So what this charity does is it goes and it provides an advocate, basically a lawyer. I mean, they cost what, a cheap lawyer would cost. I don't know what cheap lawyers are. Exactly. But they cost. And not a lot of people can get that service that would help their child to be a more productive adult, a better person, because they don't want to do it. The school boards don't. So this charity tries to help these autistic children and their families to get the actual support that they need from their schools. I think it's a great thing. Tabletop. Let me get the name right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes. Table War Charities and Autism Advocacy, and they also Table War creates the Fat Mat, and it's a really cool dual-sided kill team mat. They also make very nice tower cases that open in 3 directions and have magnetic trays. So if for every $10 to charity, they will give you a $10 gift card for their products. So it's a win-win if you want to donate $10 to the charity and buy something from Table. It's a way to do it, and you didn't lose anything, and you made a difference. So thanks for letting me do that. I have a personal interest in it. I have a child that's autistic, and so it's very important.
Indeed. Awareness in its own right helps. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to say something that some people might offensive. But I was going to say.
But that could be what you lead in with.
No, yeah, this would be the clickbait at the start. No, I mean, it's a noble cause. It's a noble cause, especially for people that are into this hobby. I suspect we all know someone with autism.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going these days.
Yeah.
There's myriad opinions as to why, so we won't go there.
I am not qualified, that's for sure, to have that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I'm hoping that the charity will be able to set a raffle at the event, the Slaughterfest event, which already gets about 100 and something 40K players, plus the Kill Team event, and I believe they're going to try Underworlds.
Okay. Yeah.
I almost said Underroos, but it's Underworld.
It's all the same. We don't play it. Who cares? Yeah.
True.
No, okay. Awesome. Okay, so Slaughterfest. Go there.
Yep. August 1st and 2nd.
Yep. autism awareness from Table War, or autism advocacy charity.
Yep.
For Table War. Go there, and while you're there, buy some Table War stuff as well.
Yeah, donate $10, get a $10 gift certificate.
It's free money. Yeah.
You're not losing anything.
No, indeed.
Especially if you want. Their tower cases are awesome. They have a kill team size one, and it'll hold 2 teams, and you can magnetize them, and it's secure. They're really nice cases. Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything else you'd like to plug while you're here? Some social media, maybe, or anything?
No.
Okay.
I don't social media.
I know it's horrible, isn't it? Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, almost everybody does.
Yeah.
But I would like to say check out the Kill Team Stream website, killteamstream.com.
Yep.
And look at the event packet for Slaughterfest, and see if you can practice on some of those missions. They're quite interesting, and there's even a narrative aspect to it. So, can I just read one?
Yeah.
There's a little orange. So it's like the very first mission. The narrative aspect is called Fire. And if a player controls the objective mark in the center of the battlefield, they may re-roll hit rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for any models that are 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. And they ignore the modifier for shooting at long range for those models. So it literally creates a fire-based situation. If you take domination, that's one of the secondaries that are available, and you move your guys into the center, say your Tau. Now it can.
You know what? Tau needed the help. That's good. I'm glad. They do. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. No. Awesome.
Check that out.
And if by any chance you've made it to an hour and a half into this interview, and you haven't, or you're not on my Discord, where you can get this packet, or Sheldon is actively, asking for feedback on it, as well as on his website, you probably should be there, because that's where you can find most of the TOs talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Kill Team Stream's website, super useful because it has that. It also has his FAQ, which is just a very useful resource for anyone that wants to play Kill Team, competitive or not. Right.
Oh, and I also believe that we'll have. I remember in your capacity that you did at SoCal. We'll have Beernid 40K shoutcasting the stream.
Yes.
And possibly Alex from Kill Team Academy, who is the TO for LVO, the Las Vegas Open.
And of course was the guy that was shoutcasting alongside me at SoCal.
Yes.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yes, you guys did really good. I can't wait to see the videos.
Yes, yeah. I'm hoping that they've cut out all of my jokes, that I just seem like I'm just talking really boring the whole time. That meshes with my personality better, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, did you want to say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, gentlemen and ladies. Janice.
It's like optimistic. Okay, everybody, this has been Glass Half Dead and Steve with his Drukhari from SoCal Open. Just want to say thank you for watching this far. Hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a like, a comment, all that good stuff. What are your thoughts on Drukhari? Soup, monofaction, dual faction? I think it's still highly up for debate at the moment. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead and Steve, and I hope you have a good day. Hope you continue to have a good day. Goodbye.